Welcome, my dear typography enthusiast, and we are going to celebrate a very special live stream today on Pimp My Type on the YouTube channel because I've reached over 5,000 subscribers, and what better way to celebrate this than with you together, my dear friend. From where are you watching this right now is my first question. Hello everyone who has dialed in. We have Yvonne here. Hey Yvonne. And then we have, sorry to read that, Skiloki? Not sure. Hey there. Very glad to have you here from Vienna. Herwig. Hey Herwig. Stevie G. Hello Suzanne. From Boston. Yvonne from Hamburg. Then Stefan from Köln. Hey, Miriam from Finnish in Sweden. Oh, that's good. Välkommen till min livestream. But this is not Finnish, this is Sweden. Ha det bra. So then we have Michigan, Kadran, happy to have you. Hello Mark, how are you today? So I know it's Krefeld, I guess, then in Germany from Mark. So Bremen, awesome. So many great people here because the first thing I just want to say to you is you rock. Each of you rocks. Because, yeah, we are going to have a blissful moment and wonderful hour or maybe even longer today. And what I want to do today is a bit different than with the other live streams, because today I just wanted to use this occasion to hang out with you and to share some of my struggle to think about type. And here have some notes. Of course, I want to say thank you to you because so many subscribers here, 5,410 or 11 or something like that right now after 3 years and some months doing this YouTube channel. This is just great, and I really appreciate that you spend your wonderful evening or morning or afternoon with me together this day. So what we're going to dive into today is I want to share with you some of my thoughts. I want to share what sucks about my website, what sucks about Pimp My Type, why I'm super embarrassed about it. Then how I want to resolve that by choosing a different typeface for the headings, for the articles. Then I'm going to reveal a new design to you and I'm going to upload it as well. Maybe the site will break then, we will see. I'm not sure, really not, because I haven't tested it. I didn't put it out yet. And then there will be also a special offer for you, a Q&A, because we're going to celebrate the special course offer, course offer. So this is going to be a lot of fun and very interactive. Still checking where people are dialing in from. We have also morning from Seattle. Wow, okay, I think that's quite early. It's 10 a.m. or something like that, I guess, for you right now. FF, which is, I guess, font, I assume, yeah? And Mark is saying he's from Krefeld. Yeah, that's. I know where you live, Mark, I know. Yeah, Mark runs a wonderful conference in Düsseldorf and Berlin Beyond Tellerrand. So another question to you is, since when do you actually follow Pimp My Type now? So how long are you a follower or a subscriber to Pimp My Type since the newsletter? Just that I know where you're at. Maybe you're just starting. Got some recent subscribers in the recent days that just started out their typographic journey. Not so sure about that. Hola from Barcelona, Mariona. ¿Qué tal? So, from the bloody beginnings. Yes, Mark, you're following along from the bloody beginnings. I gave a talk at Mark's wonderful conference in Berlin. And after that, some years after that, I started doing Pimp My Type. So, it all evolved a bit here. Yvonne doesn't remember. That's good. Okay, then it's a long time, I guess. So happy that you're following along such a long time. So let's start. Oh, München we have as well here. Czech Republic. Since UX Copenhagen. Helene, hi. So nice to have you all here. Czech Republic as well, I think. Since spring, says Herwig. Yeah, Herwig, I know you're following me since spring. This is one I know. So from Vienna here. Okay, so many familiar faces. But now let's just get started here. I'm just browsing through a Figma file basically and sharing with you my pain and frustration. But let's start at the beginning, how this all started out. So it's a bit story time now for you and me. So let's just switch into this mode, because you always need to have a reason why you want things to change. And I always strive to make the Pimp My Type website and stuff more approachable, more accessible, more interesting to you, also easier to use for a lot of people that are not so super deep into the topic, and share some of my love and enthusiasm about typography, because I think it really helps you to shape your message and improve your designs a lot by a lot. So let's take a look why this all started out and switch back to the not so intimate camera again. It started out on Smashing conference actually, and it was in Antwerp approximately 1 month ago or something like that. And there I had the honor and pleasure to give a talk, a very enthusiastic talk. It's not online yet. Here, a very impressive image taken by Marcus also here in the chat, so thank you for that image here. Image courtesy, Mark. You see photo, Mark Thiele, yeah. I'm not sure if you, yeah, there it is. So, and it was a wonderful venue and I really enjoyed it. But what I also did at this conference is I asked another speaker, which was Chiara Aliotta, who also gave a talk, to give me some feedback on my talk. Why did I do this? Because here is a screenshot from her talk, and she did a great talk, and I just wanted to have somebody else to give me an opinion if my message came across well. Why did I do that? I did this because David de Leon, which is from Sweden, from Malmö, I met at UX Copenhagen. He gave a wonderful talk about UX or feedback for designers, getting feedback and handing out feedback cards in advance. So when you want to have some valuable feedback to improve your design work, or your maybe also most of all your presentation, you can use these cards. And I also had an article about that. Let's just briefly check this out. It's pimpmytype.com/ I think centered text or something like this. Centered text. Oh, no, that's not right. Okay, then let's look it up. Yeah, avoid center text. Yeah, avoid center text, whatever. So in this article, I also share his feedback cards. And there you can focus on one central question. And this is why you can then get some valuable feedback you can actually use. And I really like this. And I also improved the typography of these cards, which is why there's an article. But I used them myself. And I gave one of these to Aliotta. Chiara Aliotta, sorry for that. And she sent me some feedback, and this is what she sent me. Okay, and besides other things, she told me one thing to change. I suggest curating the slides that I showed there with a more typographic approach, especially for the questions, chapters, add tone of voice, color, etc., so that it is visible not only in the example, but also in your presentation that typography has an impact. Ah! Into my heart. Talk about typography, and she just said, yeah, it could be a bit more typographic, the slides. Yeah, well, and of course she also said, no, there were good slides, they served the scope anyway, and so on and so on. And you have to say, Chiara does the most beautiful slides, so just take a look at that one. So that's also something that you have to keep in mind. But somehow this resonated with me, and I'm not sure about you. So, but I think this is how we human beings are. If anything just impacts us most, it's the thing that either are true or that are bad feedback or whatever. But I just want to evolve this and use this occasion. And it somehow struck a nerve. It somehow, I had the feeling, that's right. And it does not only count for the headings or for the slides, at some slides at least, but it also counts for the website, for pimpmytype.com. And then I was not satisfied. And this is where this all started. This is where this urge started that things do not work well. So but I'm curious, what about you? Is there some situation where you think recently, some things that you're not happy with on your own design? Because this is not only about me, it's about you as well. So is there anything you're not happy? Are you happy about your website? So how do you feel about that? So are you happy about your website? How do you feel about that? So Miriam also said, short time, but I don't remember. Then late servus from Munich. Servus, Patrick. Such a burn. Yeah. So are you happy with your website? So how do you feel about that? How is it with you? So because I think we all want to evolve and change things. And with me it is, since I'm doing Pimp My Type, this is the first project that I'm really doing on a very consistent basis. Otherwise I'm working as a UI and app designer. So I'm doing project work, and these projects last for 1 to 6 months maybe, and maybe I come back after a few months if there are some extensions or something, but I'm not really deep into this ongoing process. I'm a freelance designer, I'm not hired, or I'm not employed, so I'm not constantly working on one thing. And with Pimp My Type this is different. I'm doing this on a regular basis, and so I really gotta devote my energy also to content creation. And I always thought, should I really pay so much attention to the design of the site? There are so many things I'm embarrassed about, and we'll dive into that soon. But I always preferred adding new content and a video or something, because I thought this might impact more people. On the other hand, I always feel like a fraud because I see these faults and these things that are not working there, and still I just want this to continue and to be as good as possible. And again, I do not want to pay too much or use too much time to improve my own stuff, and rather create new content. So if you're unhappy with your site, Kedron said, nope, my font size no longer reflects my intent. Either got it wrong at the start, or it tends to have changed enough that I need to rethink things. Yeah, and that's the thing, Kedron, because things evolve. And it's the same with Pimp My Type. I started out by just copying my blog from my design business site, and I actually started on my Zeichenschatz design site, and then I moved all the blog to somewhere else, same fonts, just changed the logo, then evolved some typefaces, and then changed the layout as well. This is all very much in progress because I dedicate a lot of spare time to it, but then again, not too much. So, but yeah, I'm not happy, says Miriam. Yeah. That's the thing, we're never happy, but the question is, what are you not happy with? So maybe this is a question you can take away from this. What are you not happy about? So let's take a look at Pimp My Type and what I'm not happy about. So this is very open. I'm super vulnerable. Whatever this is. Come on, these shortcuts. Come on, I'm deleting everything here, I think. So what is it? All right, okay. So let's continue here. So the current design of Pimp My Type, maybe we should take a look at that in the browser and take a look at it here. So I'm not overlapping, this is good. I'm taking a sip of water in the meantime. I've got a deep voice because I'm not super healthy, but it's okay. I'm super enthusiastic though. So let's take a look at the page, at the article page. What I do not like about this, and what really drives me crazy, is here that the titles, the headlines really look very generic. They do not convey this feeling of being sophisticated or typography, that typography has an impact, that it can change things, that it can really be motivating, can draw you in. It's not that exciting as I want it to be. And the Pimp My Type logo type is quite organic and fun. And I also really enjoy my initials here, my drop caps. I really like those. I also really like the typeface for the body text, which is Piazzolla, a wonderful variable font. I'm zooming in a bit here now. But again, Magnet is a wonderful typeface. I'm still super happy about it. Works great in the captions and everything. So this is very well. And again, the combination I really like. I like this ear of the G that moves up. That's ear. That's the thing on the top of the G that's going up. That's just hilarious. I like it. It's interesting enough to be seen, but not so distracting when it comes to smaller text as well. So this is something I really enjoy about the site. But then again, where is the feeling? It doesn't draw me in. And also these tags or categories, they have so much prominence here. It really doesn't work again. And then comparing it with Font Friday, the archive as well is not what I really want it to be. But when I'm moving into one of the typefaces, here I really paid attention because I recently updated it in Copenhagen when I was, or after that, which is more or less something that draws you in. You have the title in the same typeface and everything. You have this cool parallax effect. Thanks a lot to Stefan from Graz, who's also watching, for developing this. My cousin, you're always the best, Stefan. Thank you. And here it works as well because it shouldn't draw too much attention away. But for the titles of the articles, I'm not feeling it. And this is where I'm not happy about it. So this is basically the problems I'm having. So some cons. So it doesn't draw you in, and the categories, I mentioned that all. So now the question is, what am I looking for? And the question should be to you as well. What are you looking for when you're not happy? For Kedron, for example, when you're not happy, why are you not happy with it? So what's your problem with this typeface on your website? What's the problem? And for me it is, actually, I want to have a similar typeface that I can use, and I can use it for more bolder headings, for more interesting headings. It really draws you in, because Magnet right now is just too wide for larger text. It's made for smaller text. And ideally a variable font with an optical sizing axis that it is ideally adjusted to that. And also it should be paid or it should be free. I really want to invest in typefaces. The typeface I'm using right now on the site, as I said, is Piazzolla for the body text here, for these bumpy, nice things. Also for my 404 side, 404 here, it somehow always comes across as the variable font G by Oh No Type. I really like it because it's very cheesy. And the combination of Magnet, Piazzolla and G works fine for me. But the headings again. So I need something that might replace Magnet on a functional level for the smaller text, for the navigational elements and everything, for my captions, but also that works for headings. So this is the briefing. This is the idea. And before we dive into the individual options, I kind of summarized something. So this is what I had in mind. And when I started with this, I left the seat of the superb pro typographer. I'm not. I kind of became the uncertain, frustrated, painful or suffering designer again. How can I make up my mind? But let's take a quick look what I discovered. So first of all, I took a look at bricolage, grotesque, which I think, Yvonne, you like this one a lot because of bricolage or something, which means to, you told me that in replying to an email, what bricolage means. Bricolage, grotesque, which is such a great typeface. I love this typeface. Look at it. It's just gorgeous, super striking, very interesting. So this maybe would be ideal. Also, it has a lot of features. I really like it a lot. Ink traps, everything, width axis. It's super cool. So bricolage is just awesome. Yeah, Yvonne says, yeah, that's all. And so it would go in the same direction. So would also be something rational. If you want to learn more about form models, how typefaces are constructed on which form models, there's this font matrix article and also the pairing typeface like a pro online course where I go very deep into this, but more on that later if you want to. And bricolage would be interesting. So maybe another choice could be Dagular. You see, it's also somehow similar, a bit wider. Also interesting ink traps here, very striking. This is by Onotype again, very firm. That's true. Yeah. So I like that a lot as well. Or I also like how contrasting it can become. But it's quite wide. And then we have Obviously, which is on Future Fonts as well by Onotype, which is a bit more crazy and draws you in more. Just take a look at this. It's just very versatile, as you can see, because of the width axis. And these are also very vintage examples here. And I also consider that when I'm browsing through type catalogs, I'm basically looking for various options. Here, if you go to pimpmytype.com/free quality fonts, you have here my sources for free and paid quality fonts and web design in 2023, because SEO, it's super up to date. And here you get some of my trusted quality paid fonts, Foundries, Future fonts. It's always great to invest in a Future font as well, because if you're early, you can use it at a lower price. And so that's also one of all the sources for this are from here. So where I found these typefaces. But let's switch back to the other typefaces. So Obviously we had, and then we have Gazetta, which is also very, you can see, very, very tight. Yeah, it's also super interesting. Look at this T. This is hilarious. I love it. And the Z. Wonderful. The F is a bit too much for me, I guess. But it's also super tight as well. And I like that maybe for the big headings you can make it bigger because it's more tight. So this was the idea then behind it. And this already conveys so much more energy and is more interesting than my current design. Then we have Lektorat as well by Type Together. I love Type Together. Just also very interesting. You can see it seems as if this would bite. The C would choose something off or is fighting against the A or something like that. So I really like that as well. And it can also be very legible because there's also a text style, not only this display style, this compressed black display style. So this could also be very interesting. So these were my 5 candidates. But the problem is not necessarily here. It is because you should try it in your design first. And that's always, you need to have a briefing, as I said, something similar, browse type catalogs, and then use it in the design. But before we continue to that one, is there something, before I show you in the design, is there something you're currently embarrassed about on your side? So is there something you're not super proud of? Or what would be one thing that you could change or would want to change right now? What's bugging you the most? In my case, it's the headings, as I said, because it really doesn't convey this font follows feeling aspect. It's not that drawing you in or interesting to you. So is it something that's not so interesting to you, or where you feel embarrassed about on your side? About Cadron, I already know that. So embarrassed. Yeah, that's true. Thank you. Could have used autocomplete. So this was intentional, of course, as you say, Herwig, because then I have to change it. No. But you might have read the disclaimer on Pimp My Type at the bottom of the page here. So, bam, I love type, but typos seem to love me. If you find one, send it over so I can fix it. So thanks about that, Harry. And yeah, I'm super into typos, as you might see. So, nobody of you is embarrassed because I misspelled it, I guess. Maybe the question was too open. Yeah. Then I think I will continue with doing my process if you don't want to share. Or the latency is so long and you cannot hear me. I'm not sure. Let's see. Kedron says headings as well. Oh, strip the font choice down and now they put you to sleep. So Kedron says he's using too little fonts right now on his site and it's not showing enough variety maybe, and it's not interesting enough. So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So the cool thing about a headline font is that you can use it and put it in there and really apply it in your design and set the tone of voice for your site. So let's see how I achieved that by using some options. So, and what did I do? This is just very rough. I'm using what I already have. I put my design into Figma. Oh, GT Flexer says alas. Oh, thanks for the hint. I also considered that one, to be honest, because I really liked it. But I had a reason why I didn't pick. I'm not sure why. But the first thing I do is when I use a design and when I put it into somewhere, I just want to see it in the actual design, because you can look at the websites, and of course when you look here, everything looks awesome and brilliant. But eventually it has to perform on your site, in your app, in your application. And this is why I downloaded demo fonts. Bricolage is already available on Google Fonts, so this was easy in Figma because it's already installed. But the other ones, I had to get the demo fonts or the test fonts for that. And without any layout, just taking a look at the feeling. I liked how it looks here. I also liked how it looks here. There are some great advantages. For example, you can say that you have this width axis here. You can change the width of the typeface. You can make it smaller. You have also optical sizing in here, which means you can make it more interesting. Let's zoom in a bit. You can see that the typeface is more delicate and very elaborated in its shape at larger sizes. So this is a great thing about Bricolage. And you could also change the width here, change the weight, of course. And these are all things that are awesome about this typeface. However, I also replaced the navigation. I also changed it here, and you could change it as well into a narrower version if this would be too wide, but I think it might be okay. So why not using Bricolage? Why not? Well, when I use something, I make a pro and con list here, and it has some pros, which is variable font, width axis, optical sizing. It is free, which is also nice, but it doesn't have to be. But on the other hand, it doesn't come with italics. And that's a bummer, because in my site on Pimp My Type, this is the thing: will it work in my application? When I'm reviewing typefaces and I'm using the captions here, I always set the names of the typefaces in italic, and this is just how I do it. And I couldn't use italics, so not possible in this case. No italics. So this is basically the con. Now I could think, maybe I changed the content, but then again, I just want to have something with italics. So I had to ditch Bricolage. So Yvonne, don't cry. But it's a great typeface, you can use it now. All right, moving on with the next one, which I showed you, which was Degula. It looks interesting. It seems somehow like it looked before, but it's very, very wide. And the problem here is it's too wide, and it's also too sober, and doesn't have a width axis. So I'm having the same problem. If I increase the font size with magnet, it wouldn't look great. And this would cost about $1,000 for web and desktop licenses. I would not really invest that, because Pimp My Type still is not very, it's not giving me so much money as I could afford that just to change the typeface. Even though if I would, maybe I could work out some partnership anyway, but it wouldn't work because too sober. The style is just not what I was looking for. It's not striking enough. It would be more or less the same direction. So ditch that one. Next one would be, as I said, obviously by Onotype. So some pros here again. It's a variable font. It has this width axis. It has italics. So it's a great typeface for that. But then again, it's very eccentric and it's a bit too oval or too squarish. It's different. And if I wanted to use it for the body text or for the small text as well, take a look at this one here at the articles and everything. This is too striking. This doesn't work. here again, it's too, this is the condensed version, this is the the regular version. It's just too striking. This does not work for smaller sizes. Why? Because this is a display typeface. So too eccentric, too squarish, display font, no optical sizing. $600 for web and desktop is affordable somehow. It's on Future fonts, and yeah, so I wouldn't use that either. So ditch the next one. Okay, moving on to Gazetta. Gazetta is a brilliant typeface from Tipo Type and by Edwin Moreira Valladares or Balladares, not sure if it's Spanish. And here, really like this. It kind of gives you this feeling of, it's eccentric, it's interesting. It's maybe a bit too bold in this case. It's a variable font as well. It's available on Adobe fonts, which is also good, because then I wouldn't have to license the desktop version because I'm a Creative Cloud user. You can change the weight, but the other problem here is you cannot change the width, and I would like to use it then on the body text as well. Can I use it then? Because I do not want to have this one for the headings, then magnet again for the body text. Yeah. I just don't want to introduce too many different typefaces. I just want it to be a bit more consistent then. Yeah. And it also has this vertical G here. Maybe nobody would see. Maybe I could use it in one style. Maybe. Not sure about that. So this was the fourth option. And now the fifth and last one is here Lektorat by Type Together, designed by Florian Fächer, which is a wonderful typeface again. It is super interesting. It has a lot of styles. You can see I also changed it here in the titles. It has a text style. It works for this smaller functional text. It works for this text or something. This is how it works. On the other hand, it is a bit too sober, a bit too strict. And a big bummer here is why I really wouldn't want to use it then. I just saw that, let's see here what I found out. I just discovered that, come on, not Google Fonts, losing my mouse here. Fonts. I Love Typography is using it, which is a great place to buy fonts, but I just wouldn't want to use the same typeface as I Love Typography. Yeah, it would be in blue then, but just don't think it. So you can see I'm using Fontanello here, Lektorat text here, so I wouldn't use it. So this is another con. So I'm feeling frustrated right now. I'm super frustrated because it doesn't really work out. What should I do? I want to change something, but the fonts that I would really want to look for do not really work. Should I use something else? I'm not sure about this. Do you get this? Do you get the same feeling? It's just not cool. I'm not happy with it. And when I'm in despair and when I'm unhappy, I try to rethink again. And I was trying to think again, what was the problem that I had? And why did I choose Magnet, the initial typeface? What do I already have and maybe I could use in a different way? So there is Magnet again. Let's switch over to the Frere Jones website, which is the current style. Here Magnet. And Magnet has a headline style. I just wanted to use something with an optical sizing or something like that, but Magnet has this headline style. And this is a cool headline style. I really like that. So let's see it. This is always the worst because I'm having shortcuts for the cameras, which are then not working when I'm changing things, whatever. So, but this is a great style. I really like that one. I switched again. Just failing here miserably, cannot use the computer anymore. No, but you see, there are very cool headline styles with Magnet. And what about Magnet then? Maybe all I need is already here. Maybe I don't need to go somewhere else. Maybe it already works. So let's take a look at magnet headline. So what the font? And this kind of changes it a bit, because magnet somehow I also always appreciated, I really appreciated this crazy headline style out of several reasons, because you have an upright, you have a slanted, you have a back slanted style. It's just crazy. And it's just very energetic, and this is maybe the one style that I'm looking for that really kindles this fire for typography and passion and everything. So, and I wouldn't have to change anything about the rest of the site, but I have to make this work, because this is not the way it will work. This is not the way it will work. So, what do you think about magnet? Write it in the comments. I chose it anyway. I don't care what you think, but really tell me what you think. And I'll let's take a look how you can make it work and what the problems there are with it. So I love it. Yes, Connie, I love you too. There you are. I love you too. So I love it as well. So, and that's the thing. Why do I want to change it? I also want to make this, keep this interesting, and really be delighted when I add some new content, and really I'm happy that that's the power with typography, that words, that content and shape, they melt together, they become one, they become inseparable, they are just one, and you cannot tear them apart. And this is the great thing. The message is shaped by, or the tone of the voice is shaped by this. So happy that I'm keeping your laugh, Connie. So now taking a look at this, I like the contrast. Take a look at this crazy contrast. Inga Plönnings did the design. It's just, or these ink traps, these over exaggerated ink traps here. This is just so crazy. It's so beautiful. It just makes my heart shine. Makes my heart shine. Also the contrast here on the outside, here you see that it is very, very thick and thin in the middle. It's using its own rules somehow weird. And yeah, I just love this headline style. But then again, it really needs to be very large and compact. And now this is at a size of 120 pixels, which is insanely large, but you really gotta set it that large. If I set it at the size that I'm using right now for Pimp My Type, let's take a look at that just as a comparison. So if this is in font size, it is in font size 48. So if this was in 48 now, and I'm using here magnet headline, so, and it was in 48, look at it. It would be illegible. It wouldn't be even, you could not even read it. Who can read this? Who? It's just impossible. So you really have to make this large, and you have to use it for very little text. Even a pull quote that's more than a half of a sentence is too much for this. It's just too much. It's just not readable. And this is you also need to set it very compact. Here in this case, if it would be 100% line height, it's already too loose. You see, it's not compact enough. So in my case, I set it to 88% of line height, which is super tight. Almost the ascenders and descenders shouldn't touch. So they don't. But it needs to be super, super compact when it comes to line height, and super large when it comes to font size, so that it works here. And now when it comes to taking a look at how I set it. So I just tried some things out, some ideas here, some possibilities, taking a look at maybe a different background for the title. But then I ditched that, or I just, this was one I loved a lot when I tried this. Look at it, come on. The category, the backslant, the comments, it's just gorgeous. On the other hand, I'm not always having 3 lines. I'm not always having so long titles. It wouldn't work as a system. And I think it's a bit too much. It's a bit too noisy, a bit all over the place. But it was an approach. So I ditched that one. But just as an idea, don't you love this backslanted style as well? It's just cool. Maybe I'll do something in the future with it. But all caps, backslanted, maybe. But I ditched it. And then I moved on, and then I tried something interesting, because what really now is interesting, I use Piazzolla in caps, small caps. I like small caps because they are rather wide, but they are quite contrasting. Not caps, small caps. So this would be a cap then, just to compare it. Yeah, you see it below. I don't want to change the settings now. But you see that this is so nice, and this makes my heart shine right now. Look at it. It is combining this traditional typography feeling, serif typeface, small caps, sophisticated, with this crazy, large, condensed, contrasting. This is what I was looking for. A combination of traditional, crazy, modern expression. Yes! But then again here, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Here, the category in it kind of weakens my category if I'm using it here for the text below. So really nice. Trying this out now with the tag again. Here, can you see what I mean? It gives too much attention to this tag. The headline is not as important anymore, but the tag or this category or whatever is just too important here. And oh, interesting. And then I'm trying out, because there's an old designer trick. The designer trick is just making things light on dark background and everything will look great. It's just this designer trick. Do you know this trick? Tell me in the chat. So it's just, if you reverse the contrast, and it's so noble and everything looks cool now and interesting and so on. And this was interesting also to see or to try out, just to play around. Here again, doesn't work with the serif typeface for that one, for the date and the comments. But this is something I really found interesting. And yes, we know, that's good, you know this. And the problem with this again was, I didn't want to separate the title from the content that much. Then it would be more connected to the headline. And here on this side, on Font Friday again, it is already established. But Font Fridays are different, they are not articles. And I wanted it to be connected with the rest. So yeah, dark mode, absolutely. Hey Kel, from the States, Bad Cat Design. Happy you're joining. And you can see that I now tried this out, or start trying this out with various texts, because I had a very long headline and now I'm trying different sorts of content. Now I'm using a very short text, and here again a very, very, very large title, fixed color contrast, vexes, so it's just very, very long text. And this was also super, super important to try out. And of course, not only trying out desktop, but also trying out mobile. Here, very large title. How will this look on mobile? And especially for mobile, it's ideal in a sense, because it's very narrow and it still is very striking and interesting. So these were my approaches so far. So what do you think of them? What are your thoughts on these approaches? Because at this moment now, I kind of moved everything in a way that I'm happy that I think I could work with it. And from that point on, I start to move into the browser. Because right now it doesn't really help me to see it in Figma. Before, so when we recap a bit, I started out thinking, what's the problem? Why do I want to change? Why do I want to switch to other typefaces? What's the problem with this? Yeah, it was the first question. Why am I not happy? Why is my heart broken? The next step then would be, what am I actually looking for? And I was looking for something that's similar, but that works for striking, impactful headlines, maybe for variable font, optical sizes, but in that sense, I couldn't find anything. And that performed in all situations. And then I got back to the font choice. I was certain that I could work with it, tried out several approaches, and now knowing in which direction more or less to take it, I'm starting to go into the browser, because I tried this out in the actual design, which is always important in Figma or wherever. I wouldn't do this in the browser personally, because it's too much work to set it up there. But here in Figma it's easy. You can just check out, or any design tool, whatever, and check out how it might look. So let's take a step to the browser, my friend. Okay, and see how I establish this for the where are we? Yeah, there we are. So you can see it right now and how it looks, and I already put it in there. And maybe let's maybe take a look at it in Chrome. No, first of all in Firefox maybe. So here we are. This was the current design, and then when I switch this over to the new design, it would look something like this. So before and after. And this immediately changes the atmosphere of the whole site. It's much more interesting. It really draws you in a lot. And what I really like about it is that it is still connected to the rest of the text, to the rest of the titles, and to the functional text. I really, really like that. It is not super legible, it is not super readable, but I don't care, because the energy is the right one, and I think it will work for a very short title. If I use this in any headline on the page, it would be horrible. But for the title it works. And what are your opinions on that? Leave them in the chat, I'm curious about it. So I really like how this works, and there's a tiny thing about the CSS now, because I also tried it then on mobile, and it kind of scales, and here I'm using clamp to seamlessly scale. You see that the font size is fluid, and then it gets a max width or max size. So I'm using clamp here in CSS, if this says anything to you. So you can then check it out in DevTools or something. But the font size basically says that it is going to have a minimum size of 4 rem, then 3 viewpoint width plus 3.5 rem, and then 9 rem is the max width. So that this is growing and is always a bit larger than it should be, and is working. So this is the approach about this. And there's another nice thing that I want to highlight in Chrome, which is line break. So you can take a look at a text wrap. You see in Chrome, I'm switching between browsers. This is Firefox, this is Chrome. And here in Firefox, line is still in this line, and here line is in the next line. And why is this? There is a CSS property that is called text wrap balanced. And if you're going to inspect that here, it is something that is only supported by Chrome right now, and it will take a look if the lines are more or less the same length across the various headlines. It will work for something that is a headline, not body text. It doesn't work for body text, but it works for headlines. So text wrap balanced is something that works here, and you can also use this for your articles page. Okay, there's something broken, I guess, but you could also use it for the articles page, and then things do not break that strangely. So that's working interesting. So what's going on in the chat? I'm all in, go bigger. Yes, Cal, thank you. Balance is one of the best new features for typography. That's true. That's absolutely true. I'm also very excited about it. So let me see why the thing doesn't work. So let's just see. Maybe it works now if I'm switching over to article, and you can still see it. Come on, doesn't it work? No, there's obviously something going wrong. Whatever. So my style sheet is broken right now. I think I shouldn't upload then the site. I made a last minute change before the live stream. Okay, what's text wrap pretty then? Feel like text wrap pretty was for to avoid orphans at the end of a line. This takes a look at the last few sentences. Text wrap, pretty. And text wrap, balance is something that is balancing all the lines, and text wrap pretty is looking at orphans, which is if there's a single word in the last line, so there's not a single word left alone. Or is it widows? I'm always confused by that. I'm never, even I don't remember if it's orphan or widow, which are the single words. Maybe you know, type it in the chat if it's an orphan or widow, or look it up on Wikipedia. Please look it up so that I learn. I'm always mixing them up. In German it's Hurenkind, which is super annoying. The orphan is the Hurenkind, which is son of a bitch in English. It's quite offensive for German, isn't it? And widow is Schusterjunge, whatever this is, the son of the shoemaker or something like that. Yeah, okay. It's a big family breakup. Never remember either. Yeah, it's always. I think widow is at the end of life, and orphan is at the beginning of life. So maybe orphan is at the beginning of a or the first sentence of a paragraph, and widow is. If that's alone, and widow is the last sentence of a paragraph that's alone. So I think it's about widows. I think. Hurenkind. Yeah, just here. Yeah, now it's explicit, I guess. Everything's explicit now. Okay, so, and now, my friend, let's switch over to the next level here, because we fixed the article site, but we didn't fix the homepage. And now we're going to take an even closer look what sucks at the homepage of Pimp My Type. Okay, what could you say? So you can give it to me now in a negative way, yeah, give it, or positive, whatever. Go to pimpmytype.com, open up the homepage and tell me what sucks. Please be mean. Please be honest, yeah? You can be mean, whatever. Just tell me what doesn't work in your eyes. So we're going to pimpmytype.com. That's the homepage. What is not working except that I am wearing different glasses here and I'm so much younger. No, and I have longer hair. What? No. So, but just tell me what doesn't work on pimpmytype.com on the homepage. In your opinion, what do you think doesn't work here? So that's the homepage. That's the best thumbnail ever. I know. These are the articles, and then we have the newsletter box, we have some banner that I didn't remove, and then we have me again. So much me, so much Oliver focused. So what do you think? So what do we have? Okay, then there are the ones, what did Kel write? The ones that show up at the top of the column, OMG. Yeah, the ones at the top of the column these are, I think, the orphans, yeah? And the ones at the bottom are the widow. So what doesn't work on pimpmytype.com? What doesn't work there? Tell me. It's a bit different today, the live stream. It's just more hanging out. So you gotta show some involvement here, engagement. It's not just me edutaining everyone. And while you're at it, and while you're trying to find out what doesn't work, I'm trying to fix my error here, because I have an error which prevents me from building something in CSS, and this is not good, because then I cannot upload anything. So what is the problem I'm having here? So, all right. Are you already writing here? So everybody's leaving now. What did I miss in the last minutes? Johannes, you missed a lot. You just have to go to pimpmytype.com and tell me what sucks on my website, please. Be honest but kind. Before I'm telling you what I think is not working here, while I'm looking for an error on my side. So, what do we have? What do you think doesn't work? La 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 la. So somebody, all right, there we have it. Okay, successful font. Okay. Then we have from Sue, if the browser window is wide, you're hanging out in the far corner. Oh, you're mean now. Okay, that's good. Yeah. You have a lot of great articles, but they're all bunched together. I would be nice to highlight by tag category, Font Friday, interviews, UI tips, etc. Link on the header to YouTube is way too subtle. Underline is almost invisible. True, Johannes. Yeah, you're seeing that. And what do we have as well? Then we have with header, I mean next to your avatar. I know, Johannes, what you meant. Yeah, I like your site, but for me it's a bit busy, says Miriam. And Yvonne, change imprint to legal notice. Yeah, okay, that's true. So that's also a good feedback. Thanks, Yvonne. So yeah, I really appreciate that you took the time to see it. You can still type things in the chat, but just to take a look what doesn't work here. Yeah, and what doesn't work, in my opinion, is so many things. I just wanted to make this header a bit bolder. Then you have successful, make your design more successful with the. There's so much going on here. It's horrible because we have this font and that font and this font, and you have a pointless hover effect. Pointless, really, because you cannot even click it. It's just by showing off that there's a variable font. You can change the weight axis. Yeah, okay, but it doesn't really animate. It's not interactive, but it's changing when I'm hovering. It doesn't make any sense. Then you have another style again here, and if you red button, there are so many things going on here. When you check it out on mobile, it is not centered anymore. If it's very narrow, you can see. Then, yeah, okay, I'm hanging to the left more. I'm not having a max width. That's also true on the very wide windows. Then we have my offerings, which are super large. Then we have Ferryman, which is also the text is super large here as well. Then the articles, as already got mentioned, they are just very loveless. A list of things not really working. So didn't like that either. Then we have this box. It's another box, another one. It's super, super messy. It's throwing things there and doing and it's not very clear. The message is not very clear. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Johannes always said that when hovering over successful in Safari, also the M from making your design more is shaking. Yeah, okay. Maybe it's afraid. Maybe it's shaking because it's afraid because there's so much going on, Johannes. Maybe. And then I'm good with most except the varying width of sections, full 3 and so. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, so these are all things I'm not happy about. And now let's take a look at the design in Figma again, because yeah, I'm also not very happy about that. So it's unclear message stuff, too many end events, too diverse, too large offerings, loveless lists and everything. Yeah, if the red link underlines don't look like they belong, yeah, that's true. So here in the text especially. So in the body text, yeah, maybe I could also change the link color. It's true, but for now I'm good with that. But here, it's strange. You see, it's not even visible in a way. So it's not good. Okay. So what did I do then? Behold, bam! I started to change things quite a bit because I just wanted to make a bit clearer, reduce everything that's unnecessary, just making an easy message here in the draft here. Create successful web and app designs by learning to use the power of typography. That's the important part, yeah. And it's much clearer, isn't it? And it's also showing off the new heading font. And why is that important? Because at the front page, at the start page, you somehow gotta use this typeface. You establish this feeling, this vibe, this idea. So this is much more powerful, much more interesting. And then I'm just trying things out here maybe. Font Friday in the background and having this one on top. And then the articles maybe in a grid and more organized and not everything everywhere. And one thing highlighted, nice dude here. And here also combining again the serif typeface with the sans serif typeface. And then here my offerings, also more concise. And another thing, I got featured on so many great places, on I Love Typography, on the League of Movable Type. I've got a Google Fonts article out there that I wrote. So there are a lot of street cred. I'm very cool, I guess. So, but I never show this. It's nowhere. It's not mentioned. Why? Why? So, came up with that as well. So these were some ideas and some things. Ooh, you're excited, I see. So lol, that's good, yeah. And then so much better, says Connie. Miriam says, wow. Yvonne says, love it. Helena says, much better. Yeah, I think it's much better. So, but you gotta really, and now I again moved this into the browser, and now behold, because now is the bad part, I gotta fix the CSS to move it in the browser before I'm able to show you then there. But before we do that, so I think this is kind of great. But I'm going to ask you another question before we just move over. And I think this is quite cool. You gotta also show off what you're proud of and what you can use. For example, on Font Friday, I changed, when I redesigned it, I showed how many additions I already got out there. It's 139. This is a lot of fonts I already reviewed in the past 3 years. So this is insane. And you can clearly see that I'm dedicated to this. But I gotta show it, because you take so much for granted when you always do it. And then you're humble and so on. But it's not about bragging, it's just showing commitment and that I'm into it and that I'm showing up for it and so on. So what would you think? So what would you say? What is something that you are proud of right now on your side that you might not show maybe? Just take a moment and think about it. This is the idea. This is the idea behind it, so that you have something to do. So while I'm fixing a CSS. So what are you proud of? While I'm looking at the arrow here, so that I can show you. So let me see. It's always horrible to do this live, but I'm trying to be more calm. Just be more calm. So where is the right file? Support box. Okay, let's just remove everything and let's see if it works now. Yes, working. I fixed it. It just was Control C and everything, Command C, and everything works. Hopefully. So let's take a look at the site live. Did anybody say anything about what geo he's proud on? We need more Google Fonts logos. That's true, Johannes. Yes, big! You're going to collect all the ink with that new headline. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So let's take a look at the new redesign, local style, and bam! There you have it. It's already implemented. I just love how it looks. It's a bit different than when you compare it with Figma, but it's never about having it the same. So just comparing it here, because when you use it in the browser, it's always a bit different, and the dude here is also different, and somehow he's moving. I like hover effects. In this case, it is working. Somebody commented about the underline. Now here, it is underlined in white, and it is obvious that this is a link and this is accessible. I just love how this looks with the big typeface. And then again, I figured, why not switching offerings and Font Friday and articles and moving this left, right, because then this would be more interesting, also switching things. And what I also really need to do is, this is now one clickable thing. It's not one thing that's not clickable. So it's you click on the whole thing. And here again, for the Font Friday, now the tags are more visible. They weren't visible before. You have, this is just demo content right now, because it's on the local thing. And proudly featured on, and about, and so on and so on. So these are all things I'm very excited about. And when I'm now checking this out on mobile, it's also moving to the center here, also overlapping. Font Friday articles. It might not be super readable because it could be articles, but I guess you will figure it out somehow. Let's have some fun, not always that serious and super strict. Come on, isn't that great? Power of typography. I feel that power now. I feel it. Do you feel the power of typography? Do you feel it? Tell me. So, yeah, nice. Good job. Thank you, LS. Thank you. SCILOQI. Skiloki. Oh, God, this is the worst nickname. No offense to you. It's just super hard to read. All right, I'm great. It's great that you remembered. Okay, and now let's use this big moment before I upload the site and everything will break and fall apart, and we still have some time for Q&A and everything. And I'm happy that you're still joining me here on this nice day. Ja visst. That's great. Ha det bra. But don't say goodbye yet. Good. Nice. Feels nice. That's great. Happy that you like it. Okay, but now before I upload it, before I do that, let me just give you the just a quick prompt, because again, we celebrate here 5,000 subscribers. I'm super excited to have shaped the website I'm working on actually almost every day, and I'm creating content thinking about almost always, and I'm super excited that things are now more aligned again. And I won't be happy with it in a few weeks, I guess. But for now, I think it kind of becomes what it should be more. And there are still a lot of things I'm not happy about. We can talk about them as well if you want to later. But for now, let's just be happy for a moment and see that things can evolve and be better and celebrate the achievement. 5,000 subscribers. Again, I'm super happy that you joined me. And special offer, as I said, I'm going to send this out on the newsletter as well. But just to celebrate, I'm going to give you a ridiculous discount to the Pairing Typefaces course, which is $100, not $5,000 discount, because that wouldn't work. Or I should set up the price then to $5,249. No. But you can use this right now. 5K is the promo code, and also for the new iPhones mini course, if you enjoy that. It is only until this Friday. You will get it in the email as well, but this already works on the website if you click the links to the course. But before we now dive into uploading the site and seeing if it breaks. If it breaks, I'm going to fix it and you can experience it on your browser. Let's see if it breaks. And before we do that, go into Q&A. So what would you say, my friend, is a question. What do you have a question? Do you want to discuss? We still have some time. My wife is okay with me that I'm not putting the kids to bed today, because I have to do it tomorrow and the day after, and anyway, so it's okay. So what's on your mind? Any typographic questions? So let's chat a bit. Also working on changes for Beyond Tellerrand, says Mark. Not a complete relaunch yet, but needed changes. Yeah, I totally feel that, Mark, because we see this every day and people also want to see the things evolve and change. And I think it's more like an evolution than a revolution. It's just more like growing, slowly changing, evolving, and not rapid change, redesign, because it always is hard. It always is hard to change everything at once, and the CSS and everything, and it's just fucked up everywhere. But I don't want to refactor the code then. Why should I? I'm just moving on and then putting this energy into creating content. You will put this energy into creating great conferences, but there always is a point where you want to evolve and move on. Yvonne says, what does Yvonne says? Me du pratar jättebra svenska. Ja, men jag pratar jättebra svenska. Tack så mycket, Yvonne. Jag pratar liten svenska. Okay, and Johannes, ridiculous discount. That's true. It's a ridiculous discount. So I would use it, Johannes, definitely. But in the meantime, while you might think of a question or maybe not, I'm just deploying now here my stuff and putting it online, and then we can see if it breaks. You're with me now, because then the site is just offline. Let's just see if it breaks. Let's see if it breaks. Okay, all right. So I'm going to do it now. So my local changes, I haven't tried it with the real content. Let's see. So this is the site now. And now I'm uploading. Really? So here, take a look. I'm syncing. Okay, syncing. And let's see what happens. Let's see if it breaks. Let's see if it breaks. Let's see if it breaks. While you're typing in some questions. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Will everything be offline? Then I might, if Birgit is watching, I might be back later. If it will break, I will have to fix it then. Let's see. Okay. So, in the meantime, some questions here. Have you ever reviewed the typography of a video game, says Robert. Yes, I actually did. I did that for a friend. We Are Giants is the game. And I gave him some insights how to use, it's a VR game, how to do the intros and also the menu screen, which was more crucial in VR games. So shout out to Wolfgang from Graz as well. So wearegiants.com. Was this okay? Maybe it's not that domain. We Are Giants. Let's look it up. We Are Giants on Steam. Yeah, there it is. So a great game, really very well made. And I took a look at the typography there as well. And I also made a game, a browser game back then, which was horrible, but I also checked the typography about that one. It was Fombiflow or something. Fombiflow, let's see, is it Fombiflow? Yeah, there. This was the one, fombiflow.net. You can look it up. It's a horrible game. You're getting so many notifications and then you're dying if you can't respond to the notifications. It's just like life. Nobody likes that. So, but check it out. Okay. So, before we dive into the next question, let's see if it works. Let's reload. Oh God, I'm super nervous now. Okay, let's see. I'm typing in, I'm refreshing, and whoa! Pimped! It worked! Nice! Nice! This is too close. And there's no newsletter sign up. Okay, you can't have everything. But nice. How do the articles look now? Nice. Oh, there's a discount. I should use that one. Maybe I want to learn something about your iPhones. Nice. Coaching. Yes. Whoa. Pimped. That sucks. I have to say that sucks. This widow, this one sucks. I'm going to look it up in Chrome now. So let's see in Chrome. Sorry. Maybe in Chrome it will work. Pimp my type. So, how does it look here? Much better. So, check it out in Chrome, I guess. It doesn't suck there. Doesn't suck. You will never be happy, I guess. And I think we still might tweak it a bit now with this realistic corner. But it's alive. It's alive. Check it out. Yeah. It works. Absolutely, Johannes. Okay. So, did we have any more questions here? Okay. Jeb said, what's a good place to get Arabic fonts? I'm not familiar with Arabic, but my project demands a good font. Well, there's a great site if you want to check. So you can start. Most of all, you can of course start with fonts.google.com. So, and then you could filter by language and start with here Arabic. So then you have Arabic, and then you can choose something that's also covering Arabic script, which would be one way to go if you need to have it as an open source or a free font. But then again, on Google Fonts, a lot of typefaces do not have the same quality as they should have, or a sufficient quality. Many typefaces will have, but not all typefaces. You will always have to take a closer look at that. And there's also a great foundry, which is Rosetta Type. Rosetta Type is specialized in creating typefaces for the international market. They are not sponsoring, but they should. Everybody should sponsor me, because I'm looking for sponsors for Pimp My Type as well. If you want to sponsor, or if you know somebody who should sponsor my content, please let me know. But this is also a good idea, Rosetta Type. And if you want to check it out here on I Love Typography, so fonts.ilovetypography.com. Let's switch over again to the wrong camera. That's the right one. So here you can also go to CDARS. This is a great search. Here, CDARS Plus, where you can also filter. And a great foundry by Nadine Shaheen is Arabic Type. She's also the CEO of I Love Typography. I'm an affiliate there, so I'm connected to them. Full disclosure, my friend. So but this is an option. So I Love Typography, and here you can use script, Arabic, and then filter. You only have 25 typefaces there. If you switch to Latin, you see there are some more. So there are 1,265, but Arabic only 25. But these are definitely all quality typefaces, because I Love Typography is a very well curated marketplace. So just some ideas. Maybe this is helpful to you from here. Okay, Gleb, sorry. Then let's see. Would it be better if it will be a free font? Okay, yeah, free font again. I just wrote it. Zeichenschatz. It's still called Zeichenschatz in the background. What a nostalgic name. Yeah, Johannes, it is. It works. True. So I can see it in the browser. That's cool. SCILOQI. Then love live. Looks live for me. Congrats, says Bad Cat Design. Thank you. And what do we have? I am in the process of redoing, says Miriam now. I'm in the process of redoing all the web pages. Everything has changed. Working with children in Ukraine, and now 4 different times, but children are children. I like the thinking process. That's happy. And Nadine Shaheen, exactly. Yeah, that's good that you pointed it out, Yvonne, here. So, have you any more questions? I'm still here for a few minutes before we wrap this up. And yeah, before we wrap this up, again, take a look at this. Sucked. Awesome! Power of typography. Sucks. Success that sucks. Power! All done with some pimped type. So that's just awesome. Yeah. I'm going to take another sip of water. Maybe you're going to give me some more questions. If you don't have any questions, I'm just going to tell you a bit more about what's coming up on Pimp My Type. There's going to come, the next video is going to be about Christmas or festive fonts. We're going to be a fun video. Also going to challenge myself with the least festive font ever, Comic Sans, and going to set it in a way that is going to be, yeah, somehow fitting to Christmas. I'm not sure I'm going to do this, but I will try. You have to watch the video then. I haven't prepared it yet. So this is coming up. Then also interviews are coming up again next year with very interesting people in the typography space. Also more focus on accessibility, talks on accessibility. These are also things that I'm working on currently. So let's see if there are any more questions. The main nav disappears on the checklist page. That's true. That's true. Thank you, MP Morgan. And this is very dark pattern, but somebody told me on a landing page you should remove all distractions that people know where to click, and I just tried this out. So this is the reason why the navigation is gone there, because sometimes I'm directing there. But thanks for the feedback, MB Morgan. Miriam says any children font, but children in war. Okay, so a font that's working for children. Let me think about that. So I had one which was great. I reviewed it. It's not that long ago, and I think it's also available in Cyrillic, which might be important since it's Ukraine. My wife is just learning Ukraine. We had a mother and a daughter in our house when the war broke out for a few months, and we're still connected, and now we're learning a bit more Ukraine that we can better communicate since she returned. It's Chantel Sans, and Chantel Sans is just a very playful and fun typeface. It's a better Comic Sans to say, and it's by an artist created on her handwriting by Chantal Martin, and I really love that one because it's super approachable. It looks awesome in caps. It is very friendly, outgoing, informal, and next to Comic Sans almost looks rigid. Isn't this crazy? So this is weird. And it has this shifting axis. You can make it bounce. It's a variable font, and it has interesting alternatives, weights, and styles. So it's a very cool typeface. So font, it's Chantel Sans. So you can find on the Font Friday archive there, and check this one out because it has a very approachable feeling to it. And if you want to have something that is not that, maybe not that in your face, you could always use something maybe like just browsing through my Font Friday catalog here. Many people think I'm doing Font Fridays because I love to help you. That's also true, but I actually have to have a place where I remember all the great typefaces. And this one isn't a free font, it's by Flat Fonts. It's a Renia, which is also very approachable and very organic. Maybe it's a bit too much, maybe it's a bit too fancy for your use case, but maybe it might work. So here it's Sirenia, and then I might, and Colleen also is great, but it's not a free font. Not sure. You want a free font maybe, but maybe just click on the Font Friday archive, free font, and then browse through these. And as I said, Chantel Sans might be the best choice. Mark says Chantel also is a lovely person. Can't go wrong with this. Yeah, she seems to be. Did she speak at one of your events, Mark? Because I just saw I read some interviews with her, but she seemed to be a super lovely person. All right, then Kedron says, really like the update. Thanks so much, says Connie, of course. And then we have moltes gracias, dear Oliver. Mariona, thank you for joining. So thank you. Happy that you found this helpful. Okay, so I think I did not leave any questions out. Okay. So maybe Chantal will talk at an event at Beyond Tellerrand. I would look forward to that because it's a very cool thing. So then I think we are going to close this. Because, I'm a bit tired right now. If you have any more questions, you know where you can reach me. There's also the possibility of a Q&A on Pimp My Type. There's always the possibility to send me questions, as I said, and to get a review as well. So here on the homepage, Get Started for Free, you have the option. Let's just take a look at this here. There is a free typographic review as well. So you have pimpmytype.com review where you can submit your website or app or what have you, and then I will give you there's something broken, I see. But then you can just submit your site. I give you feedback, but I will publish it. This is the deal, creating content. And you could also have a coaching call with me if you want to have more intimate feedback. These are all options that you could use. And if you want to level up your font pairing skills, as I already mentioned, go and use that special offer. I'm going to send it out as well with the link to the replay until Friday. And look forward to the next Font Friday. It's going to be a next awesome typeface. Thank you for joining me today. It really was a pleasure. I really appreciate that you spent your day or lunchtime or evening or morning with me. I really appreciate that, and it's just wonderful to have you and to have you as a subscriber. Share this with somebody you think who might benefit from it, and see you in the next one. Bye. I have to stop the stream now. This was This was super cool now, but I didn't think of having to stop the thing. I just can't do this on recording locally. It's just, yeah, I'm goofing around now. So have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for joining.